Okay, so changing the fluids. When I changed the fluids, I didn't have the camera with me. So first thing I did was change the oil, and the oil plug is right there. It's right there. And the oil filter, Napa has them. The part number or the filter number is 7011 for the case. And so what I did first was drain the oil pan. I've noticed there was not any water in it. So the previous owner must have recently changed the oil or something, or covered it really well with a tarp. But anyway, once the oil was drained, I was able to undo the filter, just unscrew it. Now there's a center pin, a tube that goes in the center of this filter that goes up, and it's mounted into the bracket, the filter bracket. So when you pull this filter off, that pin most likely go with it. So just don't throw the filter away before removing that tube, because you need to put that tube back in there. And now putting the new filter onto this, if you put the tube back in the center of this bracket, you won't have the clearance to put the filter on because the hydraulic tubing. So what you need to do is take that tubing, stick it inside the center of this filter, and then place the filter above the bracket, and then with two hands, holding the filter, and then pull the tube out of the filter and push it back into the center of this bracket. And then you can push, when it's firmly pushed into the center, then you can push down on this filter, and then lubing the rubber ring. There's a rubber ring that comes with it. Lubing that with oil, and then hand tied it snugly onto the filter bracket. And then, so that was the oil. And then putting the drain plug back on, snug. You don't have to over crank it. It takes 4 quarts of oil, maybe 5 because the filter, but just check the dipstick, which is located on this side right here. Check the dipstick, and see how clean that oil is now. It says 4 quarts, but with the filter it may be 5. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do was drain the transmission fluid. Right here is the drain, it's the filler plug. So when you unscrew that, the dipstick is attached to that. So the drain plug itself requires, what I did was I took a 3/18 ratchet wrench, because the drain plug is located on the bottom of the tractor right there. Can you see it? It's right here, and the 3/8 wrench will fit right inside that drain plug hole. And then when I when I undo it, I did it slowly because I wanted to see how much water came out, and that must have been like 2 gallons of water. It was a lot of water in there. So because when I ran it at the previous owner's house, I noticed the dipstick was milky, the oil was milky. So after draining the water, then I saw it starting to see the milky oil starting to come out. Then I took a separate drain
pan and then drain the oil.
Draining the transmission rear axle oil, a lot of water in it. So I'm draining all the water until I start seeing the oil, then I'll put the oil pan underneath it. I just got the plug cracked open. That's a lot of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the oil, let it drain for pretty much the whole day, and then this afternoon I'll close it, and then I'll pour diesel fuel in it to clean it, drain that, and then I'll put 140 oil in it. That's a lot of water. So the plug is down there. First I thought this was the drain plug, but it has a locking washer on it. So that tells me it wasn't a drain plug. And then this right here looks like motor oil. I got that from this plug right there. See that? So, and that was clean. So what I'll do is I'll run this oil through a cheesecloth, make sure there's no particles in there, and I'll return it. So that was like new oil. It was clear. Well, clean oil, clear. So I knew there was water in the transmission, because when I took that plug out with the dipstick, it was milky. So I'll let it sit for a day, actually 2 days, because I haven't run this tractor for 2 days since I brought it from the previous owner. And then let it sit, even though it's a cold engine, but I wanted to separate the oil from the water, so I can drain the oil water out first. Wow, that's a lot of water. As soon as I see it turn brown, then I'll put the oil pan underneath it. And I'll take the plug out and I'll just let it sit till this afternoon. And then the diesel fuel, I'll run it for about 5 minutes. There. Now I should see the oil. Not yet. Still see water coming out. Tomorrow's Columbus Day, so I have a holiday. But I'll have 2 Connex containers delivered tomorrow. So I gotta get this and the other pad ready for it. I already poured
concrete foundation for the four corners 2 weeks ago. So that's a lot of water. So that plug uses a what's that, 3/8? I just use a 3/8 ratchet. What's a 1/2 inch ratchet? Yeah, it looks like a 1/2 inch ratchet. Wonder if they can speed it up a little bit. So this is a 1951 case VAC model with the front extension. Well, you can adjust the width of the front wheels width. Anyway, owner is 84 years old. He's selling his farm equipment. Okay, baby. And I needed a small I have two John Deere tractors, an A and B. Both are 1951 also, but they're big. They're not good to work for yard work in the backyard. So I needed a smaller tractor, more practical. And I found this one. It runs fine, starts right up on the first crank, but I definitely need to, I plan to restore it. Just like it working on the John Deere. Man, that's a lot of water. Holy moly. Seems like the tractor's peeing. When you get old, you start using the bathroom more often to pee. What's up with that? Anyway, this farmer is selling his farm. Nice place, well managed, well taken care of. And he bought a brand new smaller house in the subdivision, so he's done with farming. What, baby? Hang on, let me drain this water out before, and then I'll drain the oil. I'll have a big puddle of oil in there. Okay. Oh, try this. Anyway,
close it and then put in 50/50 with radiator fluid. The oil fill, I'll show you too also. That means I gotta open up this radiator cap. I mean the fuel cap is kind of large for this hole. So put it right there. Oil filler cap is right there to put in the oil. So yep. There you go. So I'm just taking it step by step. The next thing I wanted, so the radiator fluid's fine now, the oil is fine, the transmission fluid is fine, the power tube oil is fine, the hydraulic seems to be working. It just needs to be cleaned up. So I'm taking just step by step. Next thing is when I run it, I want to change the fuel filter and these hoses, and then this also, this is your choke cable, because the choke itself, it won't even move. Yeah, so I'm going to replace that. Now some of them I see the choke and the lights, this is the light switch, I gotta change that also. This amp meter has moisture in it, and the oil pressure and the temperature, I might have to replace all three because they don't seem to be working, or the sensors are not working. And then the carburetor seems to work fine. It just definitely needs to be cleaned up. But to replace the carburetor with agparts.com, I think that's what the website is. It's $220 for a totally rebuilt, clean carburetor. And the kind of work they use, I am pretty impressed with them, because I have 2 John Deere tractors, and I had them do the carburetors. I just send in my old one for the core, and then they'll send me a new one refurbished. And this is a John Deere A, also 1951, and that's the carburetor right there. So yeah, it's all clean. They sandblasted and power coat painted, but yeah, and then all the parts are brand new. And on the B, which I have parked up front because Halloween is coming and I haven't decorated it yet with a skeleton and everything else. Just to show you the carburetor, that's also through agparts.com, I think it is. I'll post it when I post the video. Okay, let's take a look at the carburetor so you guys can see it. They do really good work right here. See? Yep, everything is new. All the parts, the body has been sandblasted, power coated, and ready to go.